Yeah, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So
Good afternoon, sir.
we'll start your class in another 1 2 minutes. Let all your friends.
Good afternoon, sir.
So meanwhile, if you guys have any kind of a questions, you can ask. I hope all courseware and post material. I mean information your course right into a courseware, right? I'll show you that also if you want while your friends are right. So please go through all these things what it is talking about, right? So your
Sir, how to
model
open Courseware?
just now I shown right. So you have to go to see. First of all of you please explore your website, college website. Okay. So there is a CMS, Courseware, domain mails, okay, Microsoft Teams, everything is there. So left hand side you have so many menus are there. Okay. Student faculty achievements, events, notifications, right? The right hand side also few things are there. Okay, like your e-journals, okay, Microsoft e-learning portals, MAC, NBA, NRF. So all this information, please go through it. So first of all, foremost important is your student support center. Okay, this is a academic student support center. So you click on this, okay, you will have so many stuff available for you. Your course web, if you have any issues, right? Course web issues, you can call this sir, right? Call a CMS. If you have a CMS issues, you call to these people. Okay. If you have any issues related to the students, right? Student feedback also you can give it. So many other stuff is there. So please go through all this, which is related to students. Okay. So how you have to explore that. So we'll come back, right? This is your departments, right? You go to as of now, your CSM is not a separate department. Most probably it will be, but you will be the part of computer science engineering till you get your own department. So open computer science engineering department. People, faculty, you explore what the faculty is there, who is coming to you, what is their profiles, right? So please go through all this. So many faculty are there. Okay, please you guys need to know who is the HOD, okay, who is the senior most faculty are there, okay, so all these things you need to know it, okay, and who is the staff, the existing non-teaching staff, right? Um, what is the profile of the department? You can go through the profile of the department. What is the program educational objectives? Okay, program outcomes. Okay, program specific outcomes. What are those? Please go through all this stuff. It's very important. What are the libraries is available for our department, right? These many things are there to explore. I mean, see, nobody will tell you guidelines or some kind of a documentation to go through all this stuff. You have to just explore. Computer science software has to be get explored. That's why I'm not involving in letting you know what are the problems that you have related to your online GDP. Just see the kind of the environment I get is like this. I mean, I'm not sure how you get it. So here, what you have to do, you just write your code here, language, okay, write your code, try to execute it. This so many options are there. You can save it, okay, directly run it. It will get run, right? So press enter. If you want to execute using a Java, you mention Java and all. Right? So this is how you have to understand any kind of an environment. If I go to here classrooms, I have OOPJ classroom and PPSC classroom. OOPJ, there is so many questions I have given. Okay, these many questions. So it is almost 84 questions. I think. Okay. So very few people has submitted this. So up to this, this is pending 10. That's why students has not yet submitted. So which is completed, they have submitted already. Pending for evaluation 58 are there. Only 9 has not submitted. So then if I go to your class, see there are 67 enrolled. If I go to view all, everybody is looking with the names only. See, I mean roll numbers only. This is a roll number with some kind of a name, but still this is acceptable. Okay. There is no pure name is like this. Okay, ma'am. So when I go to your class, so how many 45 are in? So I'm not telling you just enroll it. I mean, I just go and post your programs. Those people who submit will get marks. Those people who don't submit will get 0 marks. Okay, that's how it is. So these are the numbers that registered as of now. Please don't twice.
Sir, how to
You,
enroll in online GDP, sir?
I already posted the link, right? So that link you have to click it. Okay, when you click it, it opens up some kind of a web view. In that, it will maybe ask you to log in using Gmail and all, right? So use official mail ID. Okay, ma. If you use official mail ID, your official mail ID starts with your roll number. So maybe that will come as your name and all. So apart from that, if it is asking you to enter name, you just enter your roll number like this. Okay. Example B20 AI001 like this. All capital C. That's what I was telling. I mean, when I have not seen any kind of a following nature with your seniors also. Okay. So what is this? Is not okay. I'm expecting I to be there. This is a mistake. So you have to correct that. Okay. So I'm see here, AI, mal. Okay. So see here. So why I'm
Sir, have
telling
you
all
posted
this?
in course web now?
Yes, ma'am.
This link posted
No,
in
no,
course web.
no. I posted in your common what do you
WhatsApp
call?
group.
Yeah, common WhatsApp group, CSM WhatsApp group. So you can link it,
Oh,
click it.
oh,
Those people who is not registered yet, right? After this class, again I'll post it in PPSC group. Okay, don't use CSM group for any kind of a discussions related to PPS. Okay, I'll post again. Okay, so try to. I'm saying try to. If you face issues, also no problem. Please register for this. I'm not going to tell this again and again. I never tell repeatedly to anyone, including my son or my daughter. So you have to follow whenever something is said to you. Okay? Right. So this is how it looks like. So the environment looks like this, and you have to use this environment to execute your programs, to submit your programs related to your C lab only. Okay. Apart from this, you have to ask me saying that, sir, how to use what do you call your ID? I've shown yesterday some kind of ID, right? So it's a dev CPP ID. Okay. Dev CPP IDE, you have to go through website and Google Dev C++. Okay. So you get this source code or anything. So get download from download. So you will get your download there. Double click it, it will install on its own. That's it. I mean, you don't have to do much. Okay. Once it is you have to do, you have to open. It will ask you whether you want some kind of a shortcut onto your desktop. You say yes, right? You will get your shortcut like this. So click it, it will open. So Control N new. So you can start writing your code here. So you have to save also. I shown you how to save. So hash include stdio.h int main tell you what are all this stuff is. Printf one alt F save. So it will prompt you where to save. So this is the path. So in C program, see, it is in a D drive, SND technical software program, C programs 1220 and CSS. In this, I have to select as a C source file. So same, I want to override that file. That's why I select. Okay. Yes. So once you have done this, right, you have to explore these menus. So what are the required things is compile and run on compile. So it is getting compiled, run. Takes time. So it is printed. That's okay. So that's how you need to understand. This is kind of the environment. I'll show you what are the things, intermediate things that is there as a part of your compilation. How it will generate your pre-processing code, how it generates code, it generates your machine code. Okay, machine code is your exe. That's what I shown you in your previous class. The So it generated these. So let us so this is exe. You remove this also. Again, there is only one file existing. So when you compile this program, your program, right? Compile. So it is saying clearly output file name is in this. Okay, there is a hello world.exe. It is created. See, hello world.exe. Exe is application. Okay. So you can right click it, see its properties. Okay, it's clearly mentioned. It is an application. Okay, that's what it's showing here. So its extension is hello world.exe is its extension. So any file with is executable file. That's why they are called as a application. So you can write, you can execute this. So within no time it is executing. You are not able to see that. Today I shown that how to make it wait for you to see its output. So get ch you have to use it. Alt S, right? Compile. So once I compile, I get my executable. Run your it. It's showing very clearly once that's how your environment is very simple. Okay. So I'll let you know. Slowly you guys will learn. Okay. Don't care what sir is saying. You're not able to understand. See, you are like a small 1-2 months baby kind of stuff in your see if you don't know. Okay. So the baby, what it will do, it will slowly learn. It won't scare to learn this. Getting so the same case with you guys. So please bear with me. Okay, you will understand everything, you will learn everything, but don't look at your class like a movie. What do you mean by that movie? So when you go to a movie, you watch it, you forget. Understand? You don't practice it because it's a movie. It will keep inside a permanent storage. That's the advantage of movies. But comes to subjects, okay, what happens? It will be stored inside temporary memory. Why? Because you are not interested, or anybody. My stake also is a forcefully has to do some kind of a postdoc. Okay, I don't feel if it is a force. If I am interested, definitely I try to keep everything into mind. That's how the difference is. So after completing a class, open your textbook, study it, understand what sir is trying to tell you. If you don't analyze that way, your subject is very difficult to understand. Remember that. This is a starting stage where you nurture yourselves to understand or link to your program. You guys have to connect to your programming. If you don't connect, right, it's always be disconnected. So going forward, also you learn Java, okay, Python, Advanced Java, so many other. Okay. So how to learn further is there is so many resources available on. So I already told you guys you can use Swayam NPTEL. So you go here, register yourself. Okay. Then I want you people to register at least for C programming not done it. So problem solving through programming C is there. So you can register for this. Okay. Getting to register for this exam certificate. There will be weekly classes will be there. Weekly 3-4 hours you have to spend to listen to the lectures. Okay. Then there will be assignments. So there are 12 weeks are there. Okay. All the things whatever we are going to discuss will be there as a part of it. So I'm expecting you people without telling me itself. Like, okay, it starts on 18th. You register for this. Understand how they are teaching, how we are teaching. Okay? You need to understand the differences. So every week you will be having some kind of a quiz and awarded marks. So out of 12 weeks, they will have 8 weeks. Highest 8 weeks marks they will consider for your quiz marks. So 25% quiz marks will be there. There a program for 50 marks. You have to attempt that one. So if you clear, there will be some kind of a threshold kept for out of 25, you have to get at least 10 in all these things. Okay. So if it is a 50, you have to get 20 marks. Okay. So if you get satisfied all these criteria, then only you will get your certificate. Okay. So the number of students enrolled is 2,302. That's how it looks like. So please register for this. First of all, you do register yourself into Swayam NPTEL. Then start exploring what are the kind of the subjects offered by Swayam NPTEL. Okay. At least try to do 1 or 2 courses per semester. If you do that way, apart from your BTech, right, you get certification from IITs. Okay, who is conducting all this? The IITs one. This professor is from IIT Kharagpur. Okay. So please try to explore all this. Okay. Right. Do you have any questions related to Swayam NPTEL? Please let me. Okay. You can post me in a WhatsApp. Okay. Not for solutions and all once you register. Okay. Don't ask even I don't ask anyone. I solve everything on my. Even I can't depend on even financially also on it. Not single guy. Right. We'll go to your class. Right. So what we are discussing, we completed the introduction to computers, overview of C also we completed. What is the history, basic structure of C program and all the stuff. We have seen it, right? So basic structure of C program we'll go through once again, okay, to make you understand. So it looks like this. So header section is just a kind of describe about your program. That's it. Doesn't have much to do with the functionality of your program. Next link section, which is very much linked to your program. So here hash include that you included, right? So hash include kind of stuff. So what are the functions that you use, procedures, functions that you use inside your main? Those things will be supported by your libraries or header files. Those header files you have to include as a part of your link. Next is definition section. It's not a definition section actually, it's called a declaration section, right? Because it declares, okay, it tells you, the end user or the compiler, what are the kind of the functions that you are going to use. What is the return type of your function? What is the name of your function? What are the types of the parameters that you are going to tend to that function? Those kind of information will be there as part of your definition. Okay. So I shown you yesterday. So I'll again tell you here. Right. So this is what your this okay, links. As I don't have any kind of functions here, so I have only one function, which is the main, right? So I don't have much to explain really about the rest of other sections which are present in the basic structure of C. The definition section. Definition section is not a definition section. It's a declaration. Let us say I want to write my own function, okay, which returns a void fun1. Okay, fun1 into it. Okay, this is called a declaration. So what is the return type? Is a void. So what is a void and all we'll see after. This is the function name. These are the parameters that I'm going to send. How many parameters? Only one parameter. What is the type? It is an integer. So this kind of a declaration I'm going to give in this definition. Okay. Next, I have to write the definition of void fun. 2 plus I print it as 2I. So I'm just making you understand. So once I write the function, I call that. Okay? I'm trying to tell you this is a definition kind of a section where you have the declarations related to your function. Now see here, sub program section. The definitions of the functions that you mention in this will be having a definition. This is the function I declared here. This is the definition of the function. You need to ask me saying that, sir, why this kind of a declaration is required as you have definition? Because I'm calling here the function. When the function execution starts here, your compiler has to know what is fun1. So it's starting from here. It's not come across its definition before your main. So if you don't have this, okay, what happens? Most probably, that depends on the compiler also. Most probably, it doesn't know what is the return type, what is the that you have to send. Let's say this kind of a declaration is a kind of prototype. So function prototype. Okay, function prototypes has to be there to indicate to your compiler saying that what is the name of your function, what is the return type of your function, how many number of parameters are there, what is the data type of individual parameter. That's how you're trying to mention to your compiler. So if you mention like this, so it will come to know that fun1 was. So I've seen this fun1 before I start main. So fun1 is a kind of is a function whose definition may be there after main. That's what it will think of. Getting now. So whenever you call this, your execution function comes here and it starts executing. So I plus plus means I value will be getting incremented by 10 to 11 by 1. So that 11 value I'm printing it. So after execution completes, so it comes back to the next step. Okay, this is how your execution will do it. Compile run. So see, there is no new line. That's why it's printed one CSM. One CSM. What is there? It printed here one CSM. As there is no new line, I is equal to I got 10. So it's actually I is equal to after I you have space, then is equal to, then space, then your value of integer. See, I space equal space then value. I told you, you sent left 10 to it. The 10 is stored inside this. That is incremented by 1. So 10 becomes 11. That 11 you open. So it came back. It is waiting here. So it is waiting for you to enter something. Yeah, it is executing, trying to execute. So you enter something. That's how it is. So your written statement means you guys have to understand this function is called from here. That's why this is who is calling this function main. Okay, main is calling function. This is getting called. Okay, fun1 is getting called. So from fun1, okay, so from main, fun1 is called. So it has to return some kind of a. So who is the mother of your fun1 is indirectly is your main. So it has to return something to your main. As it is a void, it doesn't return anything to it. Okay? But your main is calling from where your main is the starting point where your execution of your program is starting. So main will be under your operating system. Okay? So every function, okay, or every process, so your main becomes a main thread of your process of execution. This has to inform how it is exited. So return 0 is talking about proper exit state. That shows that your function is exited or execution of your function is completed successfully. Other than 0, okay, it depends. Okay, what your operating system will decipher the information out of other than non-zero, you send it. So if you talk about your system process, this becomes when you execute, right? When you run it, this becomes a user process, not a system process. But system processes are under the control of your operating system. It knows, okay, what value it sends to it. If the process exits properly, it sends a 0 to it. Other than 0, it deciphers Okay, what kind of the value it sent it. Based on the value it is sent it, it differs, it identifies the value and throws an error to a end user. So when you're trying to interact with your any kind of an applications, right? So due to some kind of an issues, right, you get some kind of error blung onto your PC saying that some kind of an error is coming. So who is sending all this stuff is your operating system. How it is sending? Because your process, whatever the application that you are running, is under the control of your operating as a processor. So those process send some kind of information to you, your operating system. In turn, operating system acts as an interface to and your PC. So it is the duty of the to inform the end user saying that this is the problem, it is occurred, you can close down the application. Understand? So that's how you guys will get the. In the similarly, in case of your C, you always return 0. Okay, because it is an integer, so return 0 is successful. It is because you never your kind of a code to send some kind of error information to your operating. So your main is under the control of your operating. So the other functions that you call within the main are under the control of. That's how the information related to the environment, information related to C. I hope you guys understand. Now we'll go back. So this is the fun one, fun two. How many functions are there here? Only one function. That's why the definition of that function is this is about your fun one. There is no other functions existing. Right? This section, the program section, is talking about from after you after those many functions. So you have this main executable part code, executable part. This is executable code. This is executable code. This is executable. This is executable. So here he's talking about so many statements, executable statements. Before main, you have global declaration section. So let us say I want to use some kind of a int j is equal to 20. This is a global, so I can access this j inside this main, inside this fun one, or any kind of other functions which are there. This way, the declaration and definition of your variable is outside of your main. That's why it's called global. These kind of definition part of global declaration. I hope you guys understood. If you have any issues, please let me see. It takes some kind of time for you to understand all this. When you write your program, you always think back which are the part of your program that you have written will be the part of your basic structure. That way you can understand. So I've shown this is explanation about how to execute your program on your various kind of operating. I have chosen Unix and your Windows. Next, we'll start your any questions, ma'am? Right. We'll start your actual programming now. So you need to start learning a language. Okay? So can anyone tell me how you learned? Have you learned Telugu? Do you guys know Telugu or English? There's no difference. How you guys learn this? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
Society surrounding people.
Mother tongue.
Practicing.
Yes, ma'am.
By practicing.
How you started childhood? Telugu or English? How your faculty or teachers in the school they taught?
By learning
letters.
letters.
Language.
By learning letters.
Alphabet.
Alphabet.
Right? No. It's called character sets. It's called character sets. Okay? This is how you start learning. You first learn alphabets. You combine your alphabets to form words. You combine words to form sentences with proper syntax and all. Right? Then you find your paragraph or no. This is how you start. So similarly, you learn this way only. You need to start which are the alphabets supported by your C language. It's called character set. Okay? So we'll start with that. I hope you guys understand. This is the flow that you are to. First, you started learning on your slate with A, B, right? The same way we are doing it. Okay. Getting mark. Right. So we'll go to that. So this is what alphabets, words, sentences, paragraphs. So in this, the C supports some kind of a character set. This is what your character set of C. So first you will be having a character set which is as equivalent as your alphabet. You combine your character set supported by C language, okay, to form words, okay, called tokens. These are called words are called tokens in your C language. Okay. You combine the tokens to form executable state. Okay. These are kind of a sentence. You combine the executable statements to form as a program, which is kind of a field. This is how we guys learn now. So you need to understand first what is a character set supported by your C language. So we'll look into what kind of a character set that you see supports. Okay, then how best that you can combine, okay, your character sets to form your token. What are the different flavors of tokens are there? So we are going to know what are the different types of character sets are supported. You make the combinations of all these things to form tokens. So tokens, there are various kinds of tokens are there. We are going to study about those various kinds of tokens supported. Then you combine all these things to form a executable state. Okay. So how best that you can combine? What are the restrictions that your C provides or possesses to write your executable statements from the formed tokens by you guys, right? Then you combine these kind of an executable statements to form your program. So if you look at your program that you have written, see, void is a fun one, this brace, int I, this brace, this special character somewhere, right? So these are all what? These are all tokens. Getting B, O, I, D, F, U, N, 1, left. These are all what? These are all characters, part of characters. It is not exactly some kind of a character. So you need to understand what are the kind of the character sets that's supported by your C language. So we'll go to that. So the character set C languages are grouped into the following. Okay, what are those? Letters, digits, special symbols, bytes. So we'll go to that. Okay. Right. So what are the character sets? The character sets. What is that first one? Letters. Next is digits. Third one, special symbols. Fourth one is white space. Don't worry about all this, whatever I told. So one by one, we'll learn all those. Now first we're starting with the character set. What are the characters? Then we'll talk about your tokens. Then we'll talk about your executable state. What is the token and all? We'll define. When we complete the explanation of this, we'll go to this. Right. There is so many 6 types of tokens supported by your C. We'll combine these 6 flavors to form your sentence. So special symbols. Okay. So after that, you have white space. Okay. So what are the letters that you can have? Alphabets. Your small a to capital, small z, capital A to capital Z. Okay. Digits you have 0 to 9. Special symbols, there are so many special symbols. We have to go through it. Okay? Gamma, dot, colon, semicolon, question mark, ampersand, caret, star, plus, minus, okay? Single quotes, double quotes, exclamation mark, okay? Vertical bar, slash, backslash, tilde. See, this is called as a slash. This is called a backslash or escape sequence. Okay? Tilde, okay? Underscore, dollar sign, percent, okay? Number sign, less than, greater than, left brace, left square, left curly, right curly, right? So these are the special symbols supported by your theorem. Next, white space. The important white spaces we'll discuss. There is a slash n. Slash n is a two character, but it is treated as a single character. Slash n is a single character. Even though you have slash a special character n from your alphabet, when combined, okay, this will be treated as a single character, which is called a new line. What it is a new line symbol. It is treated as a single character when combined like this with the escape sequence. It's called escape sequence. Escape sequence means escape its normal meaning. What is the normal meaning of n? It's the alphabet, right? I'm escaping it. This shows a combination of this and this is a new. Okay. Getting all of it. So that's why the naming convention of individual operators also careful. Okay. The escape sequence is used to escape the normal meaning of your or the kind of the things that you use along with it. So this is one of the what do you call it, white spaces. You have slash t. T is a, I know it's the alphabet. Escape with a T is a tab. Okay. It's called horizontal tab. Okay. Next is space, single space. So this space is also white space. Uh, this slash R is there. Okay. This is kind of white space which takes your cursor to starting of your line when you're printing. There's a carriage written called which go through all those stuff. Right. So that's what about your what do you call it, character sets. So what are those character sets? You have letters, digits, special symbols, white spaces. There are so many white spaces. I have not discussed all the white spaces, but I discussed a few of the white spaces, which is important for you. Slash B also. Okay? This is called backspace. Backspace means when you print something ABC, when you do backspace, this is get gone. So your cursor is waiting for here to print, start printing. So backspace. So we'll discuss. Okay, one by one, we'll see what is the behavior of this, okay. This fellow. Everyone will see with a small program. These are not programs. These are realizing or understanding the meanings of your white spaces only. So don't treat one line code is a kind of a program. It's not a program. Okay. If anybody tells you also one line of code, it is a program. Don't tell him saying that how this becomes a software program. Right, now we need to form tokens. So this is the kind of the tokens that your C supports. We'll write those. I hope you guys understood. Do you guys have any queries in this? Any questions? Please let. Right. Now we'll talk about this token. What is a token to understand? Token is what? It is similar to your word. Word, you cannot divide it. When you divide it, you get your characters. Okay. So, undivisible unit of your scene structure called a token. What is it? Indivisible. indivisible means any kind of this dot operator or comma also can come as part of it, because I used the printf like this kind of thing. So this also forms as a token. So you cannot divide this. Very difficult to do it. Okay, that's why it's formed as a token. So an indivisible unit of your executable program called a token. So see here, a program is a collection of executable instructions formed based on syntax and semantics of that particular program. Or an instruction is a collection of C tokens, which can be constructed in accordance with the syntax of C. In any program or a passage of a text, individual words and punctuation symbols are called tokens. That's what I told you. So in this, there will be so many tokens exist in single state. Okay. So what are those tokens? Indivisible units, okay, of your single instruction. Okay. I will clearly see what are those. So in general way, we can define a token as a smallest individual unit of your program. Okay. These can be formed using programming language supported character set. Now, how I written this in your language, okay, in your program, I've written right like this. How I written this P is what is a part of which character set? Yes, ma'am.
Letters.
Yes, letters. Okay, letters are alphabets. So all these are letters. This is a part of whatever I highlighted.
White spaces.
Special.
No, special symbols. Okay, ma'am.
Special symbols.
This is also special symbol. What is the one?
Digit.
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 Good. This is a digit. So all these are again alphabets are letters. This is a special symbol, special symbol, special symbol. Like this. Okay. You used your C character set to form your instruction. But you need to understand what is a token. So when you combine all these things, you form some kind of a word called a printf. This is one kind of a token. Okay. So first of all, in order to define a token, you need to know what is the definition of token, whatever the categories of tokens are available. So we need to first understand those. Then we'll come back and see how many number of tokens are present in this state. Okay, ma'am. I hope all of you are getting it. Yes or no? This is very important. Okay. So we'll first talk about C tokens as divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types. So first type, what is talking about is identifier or keyword. What is it? Keywords. So keywords, keywords, keywords. See, you have to understand. These are the very important. Key means what? Very important. If you lose a key, you will not enter into your house, right? That's why there is a very, very important. That's why they called as a key. So these are the kind of the words which are very important in your C. That's why they are called as a keyword. So how many number of keywords are there? There are 32 keywords are there in your C. C supports 32 keywords. So you need to understand what are those 32 keywords. Okay. These are 32 keywords. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Each row contains 8. 8 fours are 32. Okay. So auto is a keyword. Break, case, care. These are sorted in a alphabetical order, dictionary order. Okay. Case, care, const, continue, default, do, double, else, enum, extend, float, for, go to, if, int, long, register, return, short, time, size of, switch, type def, union, unsigned, void, volatile, why. So these are the kind of the keywords that you need to remember. How to remember all this? When you just started your journey, you will come across all this stuff. Most of the stuff, 80 to 90% of all these things you use inside your program. So when you use it, you always remember. Now it is not the time to mug up it. Okay? No need to do any kind of by heart everything. But if you by heart also, it's not an issue basically. But while doing a programming throughout your journey of your C theory subject, right, you will come across all this stuff which is present inside this keywords to write your program. See, for example, this fellow. Main is not a keyword. Okay. Printf is there. Is there any printf in it? Yes, ma'am. There is no printf in it. Okay. So why it is not a keyword inside your Java? Because printf is a kind of a definition which is present inside your stdio.h. Okay. Getting next integer. Okay. See what are the keywords are there? Those are highlighted bold in a bold font inside this editor. So which is the highlighted bold? Void. So the void is a part of keyword. Yes. Okay. Here int is a int is a highlighted. Int is a keyword. Basically. All keywords are highlighted basically. Is a shown to the end user in a bolded int. Int will be there somewhere. Int is here. Okay. Next return. Return will be somewhere here. Return. Right now. So these are the kind of the keywords that you have. So what happens? So you have to remember when you declare your variable name. See, I declared my variable here int. My name I given as a J. You cannot use your keyword as part of your name. Not part. Return cannot use here. Int return I cannot do it. It throws you error. So these keywords you cannot use as a names of your variable. Okay. These keywords you should not use as a names of your variable that you declare. That's what you have to remember. Understand now? So that's what these are the keywords supported. Okay. Right. Next. Next fellow is identifiers. Okay. This is very important. Identifiers are a token. Keywords also is tokens. These are all tokens, whatever you are talking about. So identifiers are the tokens which are defined by user or programmer. Okay. The programmer, you guys will define identity. So let us say I want to declare a variable of type int. Int I write sn. This is called identity. Okay. So identifiers are defined by a user program. So this is kind of variable. Instead of I or kind of a j, I use this. So how to is there a way that your C allows to form or the name your identifier? These are the kind of the identity. After your data type, you have to mention the name. Not only this, you write your functions also. Here, you go to your program, right? This is this is also an identifier. This is a function name. Who is given it? Myself, I given it. Okay, this is also identifier. This is also identifier. Okay, so this is also a kind of a identifier. Okay. So those identifier names, okay, there is a rules and regulations where you have to give the identifier. The first one, okay, the first regulation is talking about you should not start your identifier name with digits. Example, what do you mean by this? Int 1 sn, I can't do it. This is the wrong idea. 1 is what?
Digit.
It is a part of a digit. So as per the rules, it is not allowed, right? So you should not use this. That's why the first rule. Next rule. There should not be any white spaces in identity. Example, let's say int s space n, I can't do it. Okay, there should not be any space. It has to be sn, or you use some kind of a special symbols. Only special symbol that you can use is underscore. Okay, apart from this special symbol, you cannot use any other. That's a third rule. only special symbol can be used in declaring identifier is underscore. This is not minus. See, you need to understand S minus n is a different, S underscore n is different. This is a kind of minus is 10 minus 10. You used to do some kind of mathematics, right? That's a difference. This is underscore. Comes like that. So these kind of a special symbol that you can use in framing. This can become as a first digital. Okay. Underscore Sn also I can do. Okay. This is also fine. S underscore n also fine. Sn underscore also. So wherever you want, you can keep your underscore. But your identifier should not start with a digit. Okay. It should not have any kind of a white space. Not only this space slash p slash n and all those stuff are also part of your white space. Those should not be exist all those. And the only special symbol that you can use is a underscore inside your defining your identity. So these are the kind of the rules and the regulations followed by your C language or any kind of a language. These same rules will be applicable to all programming languages. Okay. Please study, keep all these things in your mind. Okay. So I'll rub this. Next is next token. Next to token type is third one. What it is? Constants. Okay. There are so many kind of constants. Okay. We'll talk about it. So the constants are divided into numerical constants and character constants. The numerical constants, okay, integer and real, kind of a numbers based. Character constants, you have single character constants and string constants. Okay. So what is going to tell you? Constants are divided into, what are those? Numeric, next, character.
Character.
Okay. In numeric, you have integer, real. So integer constants is kind of a 10, 20 like this you can mention. Or if you want to have, there is a kind of, this is all our decimal parts. There will be some kind of what you call octal numbers, 0, 8, 7, 1. This, if you have a 0, this shows that is a octal. Okay. 0x 8 2. This is kind of a hexadecimal number. These are all, whatever I mentioned is a decimal. So the decimal numbers will be range from 0 to 9. All your range of the values are about your octal number will be range from 0 to 7. Total 8. Here total 10. Here you will be having total 16 values. So 0 to 9 will be there. Apart from this, 10 won't be there. A, B, C, D, E, F will. These are the kind of the combination of the set that you use to form your hexadecimal. Okay. So if I give 0, 8, 1, what it is? It is an error. It is not part of octal. Here. 0 to 7 only. So this kind of an error, you need to be careful when you talk about this. Okay. So these are the kind of the constants that you can frame, integer constants. Okay. So decimals, octals, hexadecimal. That's what he is talking about. Decimal integer 0 to 9. Plus sign will be there, minus sign will be there. Even though plus sign is there, fine, but default it is a plus. Okay. You cannot have your integer constants like this. It's a wrong. Okay. It throws error. You cannot have what you special characters in between. This is also special character. This is also special character. This is also some kind of a space you given. You should not give any kind of a space when about kind of numeral integer. So example, the octal 0, 3, 7, the octal. 0, 4, 3, 5 octal. 0x BCD is octal. 0x2 octal. Sorry, not hexadecimal. They're all hexadecimal. Okay. So this is how either small x or capital X, both will be for hexadecimal. So the summary is explaining it. An integer constant must have at least one digit. Constant means you need to have at least one digit. It must not have
Excuse
a
me, sir.
decimal point. Yes, ma'am.
Octal integer means, sir.
Octal, just now I told you, right? So see, its ranges are from 0 to 7 on. Let us say I write like this 7 3. 0 7 3 means what? See, how you define this fellow 10. How you define 10? 10 is 0 multiplied by 10 power 0 plus 1 multiplied by 10 power 0, right? So 0 multiply anything is 0 plus 1 multiplied by 10. It is 10, so you get your 10. Getting it. Similarly, how to convert this octal number into decimal is this 3 multiplied by 8 power 0 plus 7 multiplied by 8 power 1. Okay. Now 8 7s are 56 plus this is a 1 3, this is 59. Okay. This number is in decimal, it is a 59. How to given a 59 decimal to convert into your octal is 8. So 8 7s are 56, right? 3. So you get your 7 3. So 7 3 you have to write it. So 0 7 3 is your kind of a octal constant. Okay. The similar way, hexadecimal you want to do it 59, 16. 16 3 is a 48. You have 11 here. So 3, 11. 11 is not part of it. 10 you have to use B. So 0x3b is your equivalent to 59. So how to convert 0 hexadecimal 3b into your decimal is b multiplied by 16 power 0 plus 3 multiplied by 16 power 1. 16 3 is a 48 plus b is what? B is a 11 multiplied by 1, which is a 11 again. So you get your 59 back. This is how you guys has to do it. Okay. I hope you understood. Yes, ma'am. You guys understood this? Any doubts, ma, in this? This is a good, actually, if you are not understood anything, you have to ask. This is a part of your mathematics. But from that, nothing is. Who asked this question? Who asked this question? Have you understood, ma? What is the octal constant, hexadecimal constant now? Yeah? Yes or no? If you're not understood, please let me know. I'll explain again. Don't worry. That's what I mean. Got it, right? So next, we'll talk about all this rest of. See, we discussed only up to constant. So the rest of other things, right? Real constants, integer constant you have completed. Please let me know when I start your next class. I have to talk about your real constant, character constant. Again, we'll start with no issue. Okay? So we are talking about tokens. In tokens, we completed keywords and identifiers. Remember what is the keywords? How many keywords are there? What is the identifier? What are the rules to frame your identifiers? Right? Then these are what? These are all tokens. So next class we'll start again with a constant. So I'm mostly done with your class. So let me download your attendance.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
sir, I'm not into PPSC group or lab, sir. My
Which
roll number is not visible. Teams group, sir.
Anything
I'm
you
joining
have to
through link.
No, you have to
Sir?
contact those people. No, already I informed you. You have to contact how to contact the people, right? You have to open the website, right?
No,
Yeah, any
no,
student.
sir. To join class, I'm not into that Microsoft Teams, sir.
That's what, ma. See, there is a student support center. Okay, in student support center, there is a college management courseware website support. So how you are joining this class then? If your name is
Through
not
links,
there
sir.
into
They are sharing links, so I'm joining through links, sir.
one your number.
49.
Zero 049 is there.
It's 41 also, sir. 41. Actually, hers and my roll number.
049.
AI.
Your number.
Yes, sir. 49.
Another number.
41.
So it will be there, now. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You will get
Thank you,
the
sir.
link.
Okay,
So
sir. Thank you.
you guys has to inform like this. Good.
Yes, sir. I texted in WhatsApp, but no reply, sir.
To whom you are texted? Me?
Yes, sir. In PPCCSM.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. No issue. Right. So
Yes.
those people who don't have a doubts, right, can leave the class. Otherwise, you can stay and ask.
Sir,
Thank you,
link
sir.
of
Thank you.
online GDP.
Yes, ma'am.
Online GDP link, sir.
Yeah, I'll post after this.